Swear to God, man, she so freaky. She go crazy when she see me. All I want is bree. Boy, her with double C's. She don't love me for my V. Shorty love me like she Kiki. I need you like you gon' need me. Over you, I get so greedy. Promise you won't leave me. I've been stuck on repeat. I be going on and on and on about you. Pull up on you, I get you dripping like tsunami.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Outdoors 8 and I'm Derek Sounds, and that's Aiden Munson. And thank you for joining here in Sports Outdoors 8. If you haven't already, make sure to comment down below, and also make sure to hit that button post notification for every video. And Edit from Chilling. And today is going to be one of our best episodes. We're doing the 2021 NBA Finals preview. Phoenix Suns versus Milwaukee Bucks. Aiden, we all know that the Giannis Antetokounmpo injury is still up in the air. We do expect him to play in Game 1. But there are a lot of factors going into the series. Recap: the Phoenix Suns beat the Los Angeles Clippers in 6 games, and of course, the Milwaukee Bucks closed out the Atlanta Hawks in 6 games as well. So, Aiden, we are here at the NBA Finals. Who do you have?
I'm gonna go Phoenix in 6, and like you said before the recording and before we got on here, there's many ways where the Bucks could come back, but I don't see the Bucks coming back. We said last year that the Bucks finals window had closed. Well, no, we said Boston's window had closed and Milwaukee's window had closed because of their exits. They came back and proved us wrong time and time again in this playoffs, and I commend them for that. But I think this is the year for the Phoenix Suns. This is the year for Chris Paul. And I believe that they will hold back the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I don't think it's going to be a clean sweep. That's why I said Phoenix in 6. But I believe that it'll be a dominating victory from Game 1 till the end of the series. And I have faith in Devin Booker, and I have faith in his ability. Now, masked Devin Booker was trash. He was overrated. Masked Devin Booker was not it, man. Not every player that gets a mask and puts it on turns into a goddamn superhero. That's not how it works. But I will say that I commend his effort, I commend his follow-through, and I commend his toughness and grit. And I definitely want to see him out there playing his hardest and playing his best. I want to see Chris Paul playing out there, playing his hardest and his best. He has some injury troubles. I want to see DeAndre Ayton be the player that we saw in the Western Conference Finals. And I want to see the rest of the team step up too. And I want to continue to see good coaching from Monty Williams. And for the Bucks, I didn't say it was impossible. You could definitely have a chance to win this series, but I doubt it. Giannis is dealing with some injuries. He's probably going to play Game 1, if I'm being honest, but he's going to play Game 1 hurt, which is never a great decision for a player if you don't have to play. If this game isn't a must-win situation, which is the finals, so every game counts, so I understand why he's playing. But whenever a player has to play through an injury, it is not usually a good decision. But again, I commend their effort, I commend their grit, and I still think that it's going to be Suns in 6. The Bucks will put up a great fight. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and the gang, and Brook Lopez put up a great fight. But I'm gonna go Bucks. But I'm going to go Suns in 6. Darius, I'm gonna hand it over to you now.
I had a very tough time picking this decision. I had a very tough time picking this series. I had to have a lot of thought about this, but at the end of the day, I'm making the decision right now, set in stone. The Milwaukee Bucks are going to win the NBA Finals in 7 games. Bucks in 7. And I don't know why everybody thinks I'm a Phoenix Suns hater. I love Chris Paul. He's not one of my favorite players, but I do agree that he should be a top 5.
Yeah, you're definitely a Phoenix Suns hater.
I'm not no Phoenix Suns hater. How? I picked him in the Suns series. I picked it in the Clippers series. All right.
Yeah, but you picked them to get outed by the Laker team, which looked like the Lakers team, which was a freaking infirmary of players and injuries. You picked them over the healthy, well-rested, and well-adjusted best team in the Western Conference, Phoenix Suns, in the first round. So you're not going to switch up on us just because you picked them in the next series. That's just good picking. That's just being an analyst. That's just knowing the teams, matchups, and things of that nature. But if you weren't with the team from the beginning, you're not going to start being for us now. You can predict us. That's just called being a good analyst. You can go with the right team. You know that's going to win. But if you ain't for the team, you ain't for the team. Stop playing like you're for the team.
Right, but I'm not against him either, Aiden. You have to understand here. I don't hate anybody on the Suns. I don't hate any NBA player. The only player I probably dislike, especially Beverly, but that's another discussion for another time. Looking at the Suns, they have a lot of talent. I'm
You
surprised by
going
this team. I said at the beginning of the season when they acquired Chris Paul, they were automatically going to be a playoff team. I talked about the Chris Paul effect when we had playoff series and we had Suns episodes throughout the course of the season. And I have a lot of respect for Devin Booker going to be a top pace of the league for years to come. Chris Paul automatically Hall of Famer. But I have the Bucks in this series. Now you look at the odds. The Suns are clearly the favorites, but I'm going with the underdogs here. I'm looking at the Bucks here. And Aiden, we've talked a lot about Chris Middleton, especially last year in the playoffs, where he did not perform up to par, in our opinion. And this, and throughout the course of this playoffs, he has real stepped up, especially with those Game 5 and Game 6 versus the Nets in the second round, and especially those two closeout games, um, versus Atlanta, Games 5 and Game 6, and especially Drew Holiday as well. And here's the thing, like Charles Barkley said this on Inside the NBA as well. The Giannis injury was the best thing that has ever happened for the Bucks this season. Best thing, because that gave a little more extra motivation, especially to Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. And I believe I said this really early in the playoffs. I think it was like first round when we did the Bucks Heat series. I said that the physicality the Bucks added, especially in the offseason during the trade deadline, really boosted their chances in the playoffs. I look at guys like they added traded for Drew Holiday, they added Bobby Portis. They also traded for PJ Tucker from Houston at the trade deadline, and those were huge additions. Now, I believe Holiday and Middleton will show up in the series. I would not say they will show up straight set in stone from game 1, but eventually they will show up, man. And I think Middleton will be that X factor for the Bucks. Now, defensively, the Bucks have to play the best defense ever, and I think that starts with not the players in the court. I think it starts with Mike Budenholzer's adjustments, because I do think Minor Williams is a way better coach than Mike Budenholzer, who is a former coach of the year. But the adjustments Mike Budenholzer has to make has to be perfect, has to be on point.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if he lets himself get out coached in this game, which in this series, which is very possible, it's going to be a big problem.
But I have a scenario here. Imagine this, all right? I know the Bucks have Lopez, I know they have Bobby Portis as well, and they also have Giannis. Those like their primary forward slash centers, right? I think the Bucks should also go small ball in the series, because I think if you match CP3, I think if you match Booker, or if you even match a guy like Jay Crowder or Mikal Bridges versus he's a good defender, especially for his size, but he's not a guy that can defend him, especially in the pick and roll situation. Look at a guy like Brook Lopez for the Bucks. And you put Brook Lopez on those guys, they're going to dominate, especially for the rest of that series. So if the Bucks can go small ball, I think if they have like a lineup of, I believe, Middleton, Holiday, PJ Tucker, then maybe Giannis at the 5, and then another guy coming off the bench, I would say like Pat Connaughton or Brent Forbes.
Yeah, Giannis has played the 5 the entire playoffs.
I think you put Giannis at the 5. I think that would be great for them. I think you should honestly bring in Brook Lopez coming off the bench, and I do think Giannis matching up with DeAndre Ayton, if they do decide to go small, but I think that would be a great matchup. I think both of those guys will get their points offensively. I do think they will still get theirs no matter what, because they're two great players. But eventually, the Bucks have to realize you can't put a big guy like Brook Lopez on a guy like CP3, and D Book, who can easily dominate on the mid range. But the Bucks literally have to have to stop the Suns in transition. CP3, D Book are deadly transition. We all know D Book, CP3 are deadly from the mid range as well. If the Bucks can get their half court set right, they can capitalize on the pick and roll situations. They can capitalize on those lobs. They can make their shots. I think they can honestly win the series in 7 games. But the one thing for the Bucks, I think like the key factor for the Bucks, and I think everybody's talking about this, is they can't settle. And you look at that Game 6 in these conference finals versus Atlanta. Atlanta was banged up. Trae Young first came back from injury, due to that ankle injury, and the Bucks could have easily blown the Hawks out of the water, but they didn't because they were settling for threes. But at the end of the day, it still came out with a win, especially without their best player Giannis. And there are a lot of factors that the Bucks had to win the series. I understand that the Suns are the favorites. I wouldn't be surprised if they won the series. I'm very happy for Chris Paul. 16 seasons, point guard, finally has an opportunity to win his ring. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for both teams. The Suns are going to be a great team as long as CP3 doesn't resign them with this offseason. They're going to be a great team. They're going to be one of the premier teams in the league for years and years to come. Same thing goes for the Bucks. But one thing else to say, I think bold take. I think Giannis is already Hall of Famer, and I think if Giannis wins a ring, I think that could really cement his legacy. And we all know, even though Chris Paul's legacy is already cemented and he's 150% a Hall of Famer, I think you got that ring to him. I think that would definitely erase the point. That would definitely erase the argument that he's not the point guy and may not be a top 5 point guard to some. But at the end of the day, this is going to be a great series, going to be a great NBA Finals. But the sad thing is the NBA season has come to an end. Aiden, do you have any final words?
Nah, I think we're good, man.
Well, thank you for joining here in Sports Sound. It's Aiden, NBA Finals preview. If you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, and hit that bell for post notification for video and from channel. More episodes on the way, and enjoy this NBA Finals. Until anybody, I'm Darius Sound, and we will see you later on Sports Sound. Until anybody, peace and love. Peace.